Okay, good stuff today. We've got stuff on quadratic formula. Again, we're still on this unit of um, trying to solve quadratic equations, trying to figure out what x can be. And so, one of those ways, besides square rooting and factoring, would be using this formula. This is called the quadratic formula. It involves the coefficients of our quadratic. So, if I had my standard form, this ax squared plus bx plus c. This is where um, my a, b, and c come from. My a is always from the coefficient of the x squared term. My b is always from the linear or the x term, and then c is always my constant here. So that's where that occurs every single time. And then, so here's my formula. I don't even, all this will do is tell me what x is equal to, which is pretty nice here. I've got negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac times, or all over 2a. Most of the times I put parentheses around all of this just so I don't mess up my signs. So you'll see me do that as well. I just think it helps keep my order of operations correct when I do this, okay? We did talk about our discriminant. If you guys notice that discriminant's in this middle part. I would, if I were you guys, I would find your discriminant first. I just think it makes it that much easier every single time. So let's look at a couple of examples here that we've got. We'll look at this bottom left one here first, okay? So you got to make sure it's set equal to 0 so that it's in standard form. And then once you've done that, you can identify what A is, what B is, and what C is. So A is 3, B is 4, and C is negative 7 in this case. I would find your discriminant. So I would find this B squared minus 4AC first. That's just my suggestion. I think it's a good habit to get into first off. So this is B, so 4 goes there. This is A, and then this is C. Again, we're just finding what's inside here first, okay? Finding our discriminant. And then you can simplify this. So let's see here. That is going to be 84, so plus 84 here. So when I add those two together, that gives me 100. Okay? So I get 100 from that. So then I can just plug the rest of this in. So I go negative b plus or minus the square root of my discriminant divided by 2a. So this is going to be b, so 4 goes here. My discriminant, which was 100, goes right there. And then 2a. A is 3, so I'm going 2a. So that would give me 6 for this. And then from there, I pretty much just use my calculator and simplify this whole thing. I'm going to go negative 4 plus the square root of 100, and then divide it by 6, and then I'm going to negative 4 minus the square root of 100 divided by 6. So again, I don't do this every time, but this is negative 4 plus the square root of 100, which is 10. And divide it by 6. And then the other one I want to do is negative 4 minus the square root of 100 divided by 6. And those are going to give me my two different solutions when it's all said and done from here. So, yeah. So this one gives me 1. Okay. And this other one gives me negative 2.3 repeating. So that would be one of my solutions, and then this one to be my other solution is that negative 2.3 repeating, so on and so forth. So yeah, so it's kind of slick. It's nice. You don't have to think about, multiplying A and C together, any process. You just use that. I always, again, find my discriminant, what's underneath this root, and then go from there. All right, so if I look at this next one here, I'm going to, again, find my discriminant first. Sorry, hold on just a second. Let's see, here we go. And now now we're talking. Okay, so I'm going to put B in here. So B would be -5, A would be 3, and C would be 1. Again, A, and then B, and then C. It's just the coefficients. It's not the variables with that, okay? And so I get 25, and then I get -12 here, which is going to give me 13 for that one. Then I'm going to use the rest of my equation. So I've got -b plus minus the square root of my discriminant, and then 2a. So in this parentheses, I'm going to go b, which is -5. And then 13 goes here. That's always this number that goes there. And then 2a. Well, again, a is 3, so 3 times 2 is 6. Okay. And then in my calculator, I'm just going to type the plus and then the minus. So this is -5, so this becomes 5 plus the square root of 13 divided by 6. And then I've got 5 minus the square root of 13 divided by 6. So I want both of those. So let's see what we get from that. Let's see, divide by 6. So I get 1.43 for this first one. And for the other one, I get 0.23. So those would be my two solutions right there. Those two answers. Okay, should be looking pretty good here. Let's do a couple more here, okay? Let's look at this one. I put this because these ones have a couple different variations here. This one still set equals 0, but if you notice, there's no x term. So this is really -9x squared plus 0x plus 12. Because there's no x, it has to be the b for that. So a is -9, b is 0, and c is 12. So I'm just going to find my discriminant to first. So b goes here, a goes here, and c goes here. And so I'm going to get 0 from this, and then I'm going to get positive 432, which will give me 432 for this one. Then I use the rest of my equation, -b plus minus the square root. So b goes here, which is 0. 432 goes here, and then 2a. So that'll be -18, because 2 times -9 is -18. And then I'm going to do these alone, so I'll go 0 plus the square root of 432 divided by -18. And that's going to give me -1.15. And then I'm going to go 0 minus the square root of 432, and then divide that one by -18. And that gives me positive 1.15. So those would be my two solutions. That's what x is equal to. This down here. Okay? And then this last one, if you guys notice it's not equal to 0, you have to set equal to 0, so I have to plus the 7x here. And then I'm going to put it in standard form while I'm at it. Again, x squared, and then the x term, and then the non-x. So it should look like that. And then once you've done that, you should just be able to do what we've been doing. Find your discriminant and go from there. So b, again, it's b and then ac. So this would be 7. This would be 1 because a is 1 here. And then -7 for c. Okay, so I get 49 here, and I get positive 28 on that other one, which when I add those together gives me 77. And then I finish my other part, -b plus or minus the square root of my discriminant all over 2a. b is going here, which is 7. My discriminant goes here, which is 77. And then 2a, a is 1, so this will just be 2. And then I'm just going to find my answer for each of those. So I go -7 plus the square root of 77, and then divided by 2. And that gives me 0.88 for that first one. Actually, this would be 8, 9, if you round correctly. Sorry, let's just do this. 0.89. Okay. And then for the other one, I'm going to go -7 minus square root of 77, and then divide that one by 2. And that gives me -7.89. And this is what x is equal to, is those two values. Okay, there's your quadratic formula with real solutions. We also have complex or imaginary solutions. That's on that other video. So, adios, Math Moment with Money.